So all these boxes are right here, and it just seems like no matter how I try to do it, I realize I'm going to end up moving the boxes all around. I'm going to move them over here to do that wall, and then move them back over there to do this wall, and then they're just, there's just so much in the way, I don't know what to do. So I've come to a conclusion.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to have to drop this, and I'm going to have to go do the kitchen.
Seriously?
Yeah, so
You really have to go ahead and get working in the kitchen?
I really don't want to
That's exciting.
to change in the middle. But
I know.
I really don't. I don't see I have any other choice. I can't work like this.
Yeah, and we're glad we have the cupboards, but yeah, maybe going ahead and getting them put where they're going to go. That sounds so cool. Anyway.
So this right here is the window, and that's where I'm going to knock through the door, the new door into the kitchen.
Yes.
So I have to take off all of this stuff. I have to see if there's any wires that go underneath and reroute those before I can do that. The trouble is, it's getting cold at night now. It's down into the upper 40s at night now. So I don't want to break through there until I get the insulation in the walls and in the ceiling.
Yes, get it all insulated.
Otherwise we have this big hole here where the cold's coming in.
Right.
But I can't do the insulation until I get the wiring done, because the insulation will cover the wiring, and the wiring has to be inspected.
Yes.
So it's just kind of like this little Rubik's Cube where, you know, you have to do everything in order. So the next thing for me to do is the electrical. So I started thinking about doing that, and here's what I ran into no matter what I tried to do. These boxes.
Yeah. These big boxes that are left.
The big boxes that are holding the kitchen cabinets, even though I moved all the small ones out into the RV, these are just still in the way.
Here we go. Yeah.
Wow. Hey everybody, I'm Bill.
And I'm Elizabeth. Live simple.
Live free. And this is our 50-year-old kitchen cabinets.
Yeah.
That we are going to replace. Like I said, I wasn't looking forward to doing it right now, but I'm really excited to have a new kitchen.
We're going to have drawers.
Yep.
It's so exciting.
Yeah, so here we go. So here's the kitchen before we start any work on the addition and the kitchen renovation. This is the eat-in area. And as you can see, it's crammed in because of the refrigerator and the washer and dryer. We put in that stackable, but it used to be worse when it was a side-by-side washer and dryer. There's a window back there that will become the new door. And then we come over here to the kitchen. Notice, first of all, there are no drawers anywhere in this kitchen. That's why we have this mess right here. And then the upper cabinets are so narrow that you can't fit a plate in there. You can hardly put any large dishes at all in there. And then there's no pantry anywhere. So we have all of our Thrive daily use pantry down here in the shelves exposed. So there's our kitchen as it looks before we start the renovation. So I've got all the cabinets cleaned out now. So it's time to start tearing things out. At least the bottom. I'm not doing the top ones at this point. I'm just doing the bottom ones first. This is where the electric hot water used to be, but it has now been moved down into the crawl space. My son did that for me a couple of months ago. So this is just empty space now. So over here now, you can see several layers of wallpaper and at least 4 different levels of tile there. Also, right here, you can see where that used to be the wire that came up for the stove, and the receptacle was screwed to the board there. This is an electric stove and it's over here, and we're actually moving it back over to here again, so I've already got a hole drilled for that. That's the new position of the stove. So that's how much room we'll have here.
Oh, you know what? That's better than I expected.
Yeah.
You and I can function with this, no problem.
We were concerned that if we put a whole row of cabinets and stoves over here that we wouldn't have much room in between.
Right.
But we've still got plenty.
Oh, I think this is going to be fine. We can still stand side by side even.
Definitely less floor space than there was, but so many more counters and countertops.
Yeah. So much more functional space in the kitchen here.
Right.
No, I think it's going to work. Somebody could be here, you could be there. Oh, this is an important moment. That's basically where the stove's going to be. This is still workable.
Mm-hmm.
That was something I was a little concerned about, because I know that this cupboard is not going to come out quite as far. The big pantry here is not going to come out quite as far, so there should be no problem with having this down, and somebody can still walk through here.
I don't think you could see it on the camera, but she was looking at, can you see that? If we open the dishwasher door, which is still going to be in the same place, is there room to walk by here? And there was.
Yeah, good. That is really good. Because right here we're going to have like a big bunch of shelves, pantry closet thing there. So yeah, this is going to work. This could be open and still have somebody be able to come through in here, or somebody could be unloading and somebody could be cooking, and it'd be no problem. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness, this is going to be so cool. Ay, ay, ay.
Okay, we don't have our new countertop yet, which is part of the reason that I've been hesitant to do this. I figured I'd have to cut a piece of plywood or something to put there temporarily. And then I realized that I can reuse this temporarily until our new countertop comes in. And then I have that piece of countertop that was over there that I can put here because we got cabinets going the whole way. So I'll at least have countertop for this half, and then over here I'll probably have to cut a piece of plywood or something. Hopefully the countertop will come in before too much longer. So now I got to get this off without destroying it because I'm going to reuse it. Normally there's just screws up from underneath, but this is so old I can't figure it out. Maybe it's glued on or something. I don't see any fastener. I don't know how it's fastened. Okay, looks like glue. I hope I can break this glue and get the countertop off without breaking it all up. Well, that was easy enough. Yeah, there we go. Still got to undo the plumbing for the sink. All right. Well, I guess I'm committed now. What do you think? Hi, dear one.
Hi. Oh, I did it, but I'm worn out. You what?
I broke your kitchen.
I love it.
Okay, I didn't film it, but I've now got all of the lower cabinets in here, placed where they belong more or less. This is where the sink goes. I can't push this back against the wall until I drill a hole here because the pipes are sticking out of the wall. And this unit will go right in here. And the stove is actually, which used to be here, the stove is actually going here. So what that does is it's going to give us probably twice as much counter space. The counters will start here and go all the way around. The counter used to come to here and stop for the stove, and then one little piece right there. So we're actually going to increase the counter space considerably, and we're excited about that. I was all ready to get started with mounting these, and then I realized I got a lot of electrical work that I need to do before I can do this. Right back in here, you probably can't see it, but back there is the plug for the stove. And so I need to move that over to here so I can plug the stove in over here. And then back here is another receptacle. You can see it right there. Right there. One of those wires from there actually ran all the way over to here to the dishwasher, which is on the end. So I'm going to tap off of there and bring the dishwasher over again. I'm also going to put a switch right there for a light above the kitchen sink. And then on the counters, we got one receptacle here, and the other one is all the way over here. So I'm going to put another receptacle right there, so we'll have this big counter space with two receptacles there and one on the end. Putting a switch right here for a light that's going to be up there above the sink. Okay, so now I got some wires run. This one is for the switch that goes to the light above. I can't run the wire up until I take this out, but anyway, I got the switch in. Goes in there, comes out. I've also got this wire run that goes under the floor and it comes up over there, and that will be for the dishwasher. And so what I need to do now, this is the existing power that's buried back here. So I'm going to take out this white wire and take both of these and run it in there like that. That'll give me power to the switch, to the light, and to the dishwasher over there. Now, some of the more astute among you may think that I am using two different sizes of wire because this is white and this is yellow. For Romex wire, white wire is 14 gauge, yellow wire is 12 gauge. But it wasn't always that way. It wasn't too terribly long ago that all Romex wire was white. In fact, I still have a small roll left of white wire that's 12 gauge. So this is older wire. This is actually 12. It's not 14. It's probably 20 years old. But so I have 12 gauge wire throughout this whole circuit with a 20 amp circuit breaker, which is correct. So I now have the wiring done. I've got the hot lead here for the switch that goes up, and I've got the dishwasher wire over there, so I can now push these back into place. By the way, I am an experienced electrician. I know what I'm doing. I know the electrical codes. If you're not an experienced electrician or you don't know what you're doing, be very careful, because if you do something wrong, you could literally burn the house down. So please don't do this at home unless you know what you're doing. You hire somebody to do it, or you ask somebody who can show you how to do it. Just a little disclaimer there. So this 220 volt receptacle for the stove needs to be moved right over to here. Just like that. So now I can plug in the stove. Turn on the circuit breaker, which I just did. stove over where it goes. Burner on. Woohoo! We got a stove again. We've been for a day and a half without a stove, so now we can cook supper tonight instead of going out to eat again. Even if we don't have a sink yet, we got a tub. Now this stove that I'm moving around over to here, you might notice, of course, is an electric stove, which of course doesn't fit in with our prepper mentality, because if the power goes out, we can't cook on it. We have recently we were actually given a propane stove, a gas stove, and right now I'm just moving this over. This was the existing one in the house when we bought the house. Right now I'm just moving this over to the new location just to get the kitchen done. But then after that's done, I will be doing the, the plumbing and running the propane lines and all that to put in a propane stove. Thing about the propane stove is that if I get a couple of extra, those big, 100 gallon or 500 gallon, whatever, propane tanks outside, I can have enough propane in there to last us, just for the stove, to last us for a year. So that's my plan as far as our prepper preps for cooking, is we will be soon replacing this electric stove with a gas propane stove. And we like cooking on gas better anyway. You have more control of the heat. I'm going to have to cut all of this off for a couple of reasons. One is that it's real tall, so I would have to cut a great big hole in the back of this cabinet before I could slide the cabinet on. I don't want to do that. The other is that these types of valves, when they get old, don't work very well. These are the ones that you got to screw down. I shut off both of these and I couldn't get it to shut off the water. I had to use a pair of pliers and really crank down on it to get them to shut off. So I'm putting on this, and this is a ball valve, 1/4 turn, and it's off or on. It works much better in the long run. Also, I was going to get a sweat valve. That means you got to solder it. I was going to solder it onto the copper, but I couldn't find any. They didn't have them anywhere. All they had was threaded ones, which don't work because there's no thread here, or this compression fitting. So I generally prefer soldering to pressure fittings, but pressure fitting is definitely easier. So that's what I'm going to use. So I got this little nifty little compact pipe cutter for getting into tight spots. I got the water shut off, but this will drip a little bit when I cut it. Okay, I got soaked. That surprised me. I didn't think there was any pressure in the system. I don't know where that came from, because there was not any pressure in the bathroom when I opened the valves there. Yeah, considerably easier, especially when you're doing repairs on old work and you cut this out and there's water all over the place, and then you try to solder it. You got to completely get the water out or it won't get hot enough, and sometimes it's a real pain. I've had to redo one 3 or 4 times because it didn't get hot enough. This compression fitting isn't going to be a problem with water there. It just tightens up nice and tight. Okay, so now that I got the new valves on there, I need to cut the hole in the back of the cabinet. Okay, so here's the deal. I've got a lot of work done in the kitchen. I was sitting down to edit the video and discovered that the video is going to be probably 45 or 50 minutes. It's way too long.
Yeah, that's at least 2 videos.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to cut it off right here. I'm going to have to leave you hanging with working on the plumbing. And the rest of it will be in the next video. But I will tell you right now what we have in working order. The stove here is working. It's plugged in. I now have the base cabinets on this side all permanently installed. Look at this. I now have the counter, the old one, temporarily reinstalled, and we got the sink working.
Yes.
So we were like 4 days without
stove, sink, any of it.
Yeah.
Right?
So anyway, I got all that working, but I'm not going to show you.
Right, because that's a surprise.
Because you're going to have to watch the process and watch the next video.
I can tell you, since he admitted that we have the water, if you've seen Castaway, when Tom Hanks was like, I have made fire. He comes in, he goes, I have made water. It was so exciting. So yeah, we'll let you see that as it comes along.
So anyway, if you're really good, I might give you a little sneak peek.
Oh wow.
So the final screen here, I'll just show you a shot of what we've got so far, but you'll have to watch the next video to find out how we got there.
Absolutely.
Is that a deal?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's, yeah. You're not talking to me, you're talking to them.
Right.
But that's a deal.
I'm talking to you. Yeah, you. All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
Live simple.
Live free. You be blessed.
Yeah. And we love you, and we're excited that you get to share in this with us.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.